Hello, everybody. My name is Professor Pixel, and beside me, you can see my friend Venkman. Say hello, Venkman.
Hello, Venkman.
We're here today to discuss episode 4 of Kung Fu Hand. We've been watching this show here, and, well, it's just time for another one. We return this week, and I believe we start with, actually, the antagonist, Zhao Lin, as she gets a lead.
On the box.
On the box, indeed.
Because it came about that we didn't know anything about this box until actually later on in the episode when we see Nicky hanging out with Henry. And they're trying, because all this entire time since the last episode, remember they found a key in the puzzle box when they ransacked through the teacher assistant's place, and they found the puzzle box and there was a key in there. So what he did the whole entire time, he's been looking at stuff for keys, and they didn't realize, wait, I'll look for something that matches the key, like a box. So he does all that. So while this is going on, Althea, basically, she's having a get-together between her parents and her fiance's parents. And this is pretty much the whole entire main plot of this episode is Althea's story, focusing on basically her trying to look good, and her mom's worried because, well, this is a rich and fancy place, and she doesn't want her daughter being sucked away and never, becoming like, just everything worried. Or it's basically, I guess it'd be a common theme, where the mom is afraid that, well, I'm going to lose my daughter. My daughter, is just going to go join their family, and I'll just always be like the second, mom instead of being the main mom. So, but while this is going on too, there's two multi-plots. The main story with Henry and Nicky, and then there's Althea and the basically the formal dinner they're having. I didn't really mind this episode. I mean, like I said, if anybody else would be jumping in, you're like, well, wait, why is this all about the Althea and her? Like, why is that more important? Like, well, it's not really more important. I think it's equally important because they started their own little subplot for her.
I think really in this episode is actually fairly good balance because we get a lot of family drama, and it's usually Nicky at the center of attention of it so far. Mm-hmm. But this one, she's not. This time she's going off with Henry. They have to they figured out the location of the box. Some rich guy's mansion. Rich guy isn't there for the week, so let's go over there.
He's in Amsterdam. Let's do some B&E. I'm like, this seems to be a recurring theme now. But then again, I give it a leeway because, well, the other villain is doing all this, killing people and breaking into places. If they want to stop her from destroying the world or taking over the world, they gotta step up their game. They can't. I understand there's a moral line that Nicky doesn't want to cross. So she's not really comfortable breaking in the place, but Henry promised they're not going to steal anything. We're not here because even though he finds something like a little statue head, and we learn more about Henry. He since he started doing the history and culture history, he's a person that basically doesn't like the fact that there are collectors out there taking other cultures' history and storing it away. He believes that it should, well, just like Indiana Jones, it should be a museum. And that's what I got through this whole entire episode. It's like it belongs to the museum. It belongs to the people that, not just one person is collecting away and holding it, but that's the way society works. I understand it's not fair, but there's not really much you can do about that. But getting back to the point, they do the breaking in and entering and all, and he finds a little statue of a dog, and he says, like, wow, this shouldn't be here. This goes back to the people back there. Was usually stolen. So while they're doing this, they locate the box, get a rival. I guess we get another thief who's been hired by sorry, I was gonna say Leylin, but it's what her name is. It's the evil sister, the one that killed her sister.
Zhao Lin.
Zhao is. Zhao Lin hires someone else, a master thief, to go in there to basically steal the box. There's a little photo. We get a little bit of martial arts in there. I mean, a little earlier this time than basically towards the end, like the other episode, we're actually getting some more martial arts thrown into the episode, sprinkled through. So they do a fight. Obviously, they lose the fight. So then Henry says he has a contact in order to find the person who stole it. we find out more about Henry's past because Nicky gets a phone call from her ex. Apparently did some digging in because he admitted that he knew that they broke into the teacher's assistant's place, and he says like, "Hey, just a heads up, this guy has a hit. He's been out through the JV, he's breaking and entering, stealing stuff." And it kind of concerns Nicky because, well, she was told to stay by the car because this guy is kind of a spook. So after learning this information, well, obviously she feels conflicted. She goes in there, she sees him, Henry, handing this guy the statue of the little dog thing that said that he wasn't going to take. So, and then, of course, this is going through where they're going to go head to the guy who basically stole it. But before we get to that, back into that, I want to get back into Althea's story because this is still equally important.
Yeah.
They're basically having a nice dinner. They made roast duck and all. Even got the parents. Brought in. The father-in-law and mother-in-law of her. Soon to be her parents. They bring a bottle of champagne, and I just cringe at this, like vintage champagne. Like, what's the year? 1990. So I'm like, so you're not that much younger than that. Yeah, than that.
98.
So it's
and you get some of the best moments from Althea in this one because this entire time she's been dealing with her boss. Well, not directly, what her boss had done. The reporter from last episode.
I'm not sure if she's still working there. Is she still working there, or is she gone?
I don't know. I don't think
they don't really clarify whether she's still working for this person, but she obviously must be still present because she says my boss. So,
yeah, it's not my former boss.
Continue.
But like I was saying, the reporter told her she has another girl it happened to that has the story and she's going to get it from her. But while at dinner, she gets a text saying that the story basically fell through. The person refused to do it, and no hit piece on the boss will be coming out.
But that happens at the worst moment, though.
Yes, happens at the exact worst moment in dinner because that's when her future in-laws say that they want her to sign a prenup. But her fiance didn't know anything about this too, and he's kind of appalled too. The parents are appalled, and I love how Althea just breaks out and she just basically, starts like, "How much am I worth?" Is it, barter system, like, what my legs are like worth 4 ducks, 2 ducks, 4 ducks, and I love that she's like, "Well, my brain, that's at least worth 20 bucks, 20 ducks." 20
and I love how she does all this, and she basically says like, it's like, I'm just, it brings out the whole thing is that that's what triggers this whole event is that she feels like property, and she's already had the situation with the boss, the sexual harassment and all that stuff. So that was the boiling point. So then she just goes off on them, and I love that. Then she walks out of the room. So while everything's going on with Nicky, because it keeps going back and bouncing back and forth, I love they transition back to this where she's in it's the kitchen part of the restaurant, and her fiance comes in there and he's like, "What's this all about?" And she's like, "I can't really tell you, but it's like, But I love how he knows that he says like, "Well, I know it's just a prenup. Something else is bothering me." It's like, "How do you know?" It's like, "Well, it walks like a duck talks." She's like, "No, the ducks is banned. No more bringing ducks anymore," because she seems like a crazy person. But I love that. That's cute. I mean, he actually cares about her. He's not just this rich person. I felt genuine. Even before when they were before the dinner, her and her fiance, and I apologize, I can't remember his name. I probably should go look it up, but. They're in there. He comes up to her and like he hugs her, and she's like, "Dude, speaking of sweaty, you stink. Go take a shower." And he's like, puts his armpit in her face, and I love the natural instinct. And she's like, "Ew, cute," and he walks away. Go take a shower. Like I said, those couples are believable because usually when you put couples on a show, it just doesn't seem believable. But these two seem like they could be dating in real life. It just gets that kind of chemistry going. So
I believe his name might be Dennis.
Sounds familiar, but so anyway,
while that's happening,
oh my gosh, we get the kung fu action.
Yeah, the real one, because they end up going to this location where a collector of martial art martial arts
His name's Razor.
memorabilia, really, I suppose is
yes.
the appropriate term, because he's into movies too. So that's one of his main inspirations.
Yeah, the thief's name is Razor. He has a gambling problem, but and that's how they're able to basically challenge him into fighting instead of them just getting killed by them, because he's wearing the Kill Bill robe too.
Oh, yeah.
The yellow kill. I was like, really? We're going with that?
It was like an 80s action movie.
I just felt like, okay, not only does this guy kind of look like he could be a stunning double for Lawrence Fishburne, but I mean, I love that he's wearing the Kill Bill, the robe and stuff, the silk robe, and then they basically she says like, I have the key. They can up your buyer, your price for your buyer. All I want is the contents in it. He's like, well, I could just kill you. He's like, but she's like, you won't. You have a code. So how about this? We fight. If I win, I get the contents in the box. You can still get the box, give it to your your employer or the buyer. But if I lose, then we walk away with nothing. You get to keep everything. So I love this how they fight. And what's cool about this, even though it is choreography, obviously anything it's so they're gonna have to have it, because if it wasn't, I mean, it's not sped up either. It's kind of like it's kind of like they do the slow motion kind of stuff sometimes too when they pause. But
what's great how he's talking during it is like saying random kung fu movies and plots of them.
How the one guy says like how I forgot which one he was talking about, but he's saying like how the guy he basically keeps changing. He's like, the one that was mastering, basically he would change his weakness point. He kept moving it from here to here, so you never knew where his weakness point. And she's like getting, and this is where obviously this is the protagonist and the antagonist. She's getting knocked down, basically, and then she starts doing the Hulk Hogan thing. Like she basically she remembers her training after she's getting knocked down. She just goes whoo, like right like right into his stomach, knocks him back like Matrix. It's like you could feel the key. Or the cheese coming out of her palm and knocks him back, and he's like,
and then she says, "I have no weak spot." That was a little cringy, but it was like okay.
But I do like it that obviously she knows the moves, but I feel like there's some supernatural force behind this, because this is the first time she's done stuff like that, and I feel like she has attachment to something, because not only just she sees her Shaolin or Shifu, for wisdom and all stuff. So it must feels like kind of like an Avatar thing, doesn't it? The chi and all that stuff feeling.
I don't know about that. I really
there's no water bending and all that stuff, but I'm saying she's still getting the wind movement, as far as help with that. Because most people are gonna say,
whenever she hit him, she really knocked the wind out of him. That was
this. Yeah, up until this point though, she was hitting him, but he was blocking it. This time, she actually had like a supernatural force behind it, because you see how you could hear it and everything, and you saw the wind blow when she hits him right in the waist here, the gut. So there is something there. So those who are thinking like, well, isn't believable? You can't have a little girl going against someone who's twice her weight size. Well, this helps out for that, but I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm not a negative sayer like saying, whoa, a little girl can't go against a big guy. No,
absolutely. It's about how you use what you have.
Yes.
No, that's not what I was saying. I was saying
no.
I have no weak spot was little. Okay.
No, I know. Yes.
It all depends on how you use what you have. And
exactly.
She's been training for years, so she does have some understanding. Yes. That being said, I don't know if 3 years of training is enough per se.
The reason I say it though, because I think there's a supernatural element to her fighting move stuff, is because remember, she's still branded by the sword, and in the beginning of this episode, her hand's been hurting her, and she's getting so it's been hurting her. It wasn't hurting before, but all of a sudden it just started burning her hand. And I love her sister. It's like, you sure it's not carpal tunnel? She's like, haha. But what's after she wins, she gets the key to unlock it, and then there's just some kind of like I forget what it's called. It's a special name for it. Scabbard, yes it is. and and she realized as soon as she says like as soon as I touch this, no, she's talking to Henry. My pain went away in my hand. It's like I'm meant to have this, meant to hold this, So and it's the scabbard is it's supposed to go attached to the swords. I wonder if it's like a sheath for it, or it just goes to attach. It goes to top it because it looks pretty daggerish.
It goes inside.
Yeah, because it looks very deadly.
Yeah, the blade just enters through.
Yeah.
So I actually do want to talk about this. This is the only thing that seems just kind of silly to me. I have been enjoying the show. But if the sword is the powerful weapon, one of the 8 that you need together to have this
trust.
Why the hell do you need a scabbard?
I think
you can't hit anybody with it. Oh, thank you for not using the sharp, pointy end.
Maybe, like I said, maybe it glows and has some supernatural ability to it. Maybe it transforms once you touch it.
It's a charger port.
Yes.
Okay, we got full bars.
Yes.
Maybe
it's an attachment. So. But I thought your problem was going to be like, why did she give it to Henry for safekeeping towards the end? Obviously, most people are like, well, it's a dangerous weapon. She should hold on to herself because she's the best one to protect it. Henry, with his sick moves, is not going to be able to protect it. So we also get a little thing here at the end here because she's after she mentions and they're in the car, he's dropping her off. And she confesses, like, I'm sorry for, because about this earlier before. I didn't ask my ex-boyfriend, the cop, to look into you. It's your business. I should have accused you and judged you, And they basically have a moment right there, and then they kiss. She leans in, she kisses him. So, and prior to this, though, in the very beginning episode, her sister was teasing about. He's like, he seems like a nice guy, and because her sister was going through her phone, and he's like, "Oh, you're really." It's like she's like, "Don't go with my history." He's like, "I don't know." There, it's like because remember she was looking at the key and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Instead, she pulls up and just goes on Henry's Instagram with him shirtless, and Paul is like, "Oh, and I love how the thing is like chiding line. It's like, "Oh, you're research, right? Yeah, you're the research buddy." She's like, "Lock that crap down," because she's like, Henry's a nice guy. You're into him. Nothing to lose, And she took her sister's advice. So those two are now an item now. I'm curious to see if the cop ex-boyfriend gets jealous or does anymore because remember he's still by law. They broke in stuff. I wonder if he's going to try and arrest him, just to get back, win her back or something or whatever. Maybe it doesn't. Remember this is a teen drama, like a channel, a CW. It's got to be some kind of stripe. Can't just be like the heroes like in the main villain. There's got to be some other concept. As far as formally, because they have their ways when they do it. But so, like I said, this was a good episode, but I love the ending because Zaylin, I believe her name is, when she opens when she finally gets the box, she's like, "Oh, goody!" He's like, because she's an envelope. It says like, "Here's something. I included something extra for you." He's like, "Oh," she's like, "It's a key," because she didn't think about the key at all. She just wanted the box. I mean, maybe she was just gonna smash it. I guess. She opens up and she's like, "No," because the box is empty. You would have been sweeter. It would have been sweeter if she would have in the box and there's a note there from Nicky says like, thanks for the item.
No, I don't think she's trying to
take an answer.
Yeah, she doesn't want to get her attention.
Maybe that's what I would have done. Probably, I'd been like, snooze, you lose.
But you know what? This might get her on her trail. That's the thing that I'm worried about. What does that mean? We'll have to wait and see.
Well, obviously, Zaylin is going to go after this. The guy got the box for her. I mean, maybe and be like, where's the contents in there? Because there should be contents in there. I mean, she seems like a person that wants to be thorough. So she killed the last guy.
Yeah, she's probably going to kill Razor.
Yeah, for loose ends, get rid of that. So
you had the key and the box. You opened it, took it out. No, it was this little girl. You allowed her to open the box.
Right? So obviously he's gone. No more. He's a dead duck now.
Goodbye.
So
the blade
yeah.
was a little too sharp for him.
So anyway, so yeah, it's a very good episode. Like I said, I've been enjoying the series. Whether you like the original or you like the new one or you hate both of them, and it's not for everybody. But for being on the CW, we all know CW has their propaganda. They like to put in things in there, like, as far as, like, what people would call woke. I gotta look at it this way. It's for what it is in this TV. Either you like something or you don't like something, and it's true no matter what year it is. Even back then, you could argue saying, like, well, TV was great back in the 80s and 90s. No, maybe it was. I mean, maybe that's what you grew up there. Now, for people who are growing up to this generation, they might say that sucks compared to this, and it's all opinion. And like I'm just gonna say, all I'm gonna say is one more thing: is that don't judge a show unless you've watched it. Don't talk crap about things if you don't care to watch it. Just because you watch a YouTube video, you watch us praising it, don't assume it's good. And if you see someone saying this show is bad, don't assume it's bad. Watch it for yourself. Be your own person. Don't follow what people tell you to do on YouTube. Unless it's us telling you this, to like this video and subscribe. Right?
That's right. And after you go and watch the episode, come back here. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know if you are enjoying this. And like Bigman said, make sure that you like and subscribe. And we will see you next time. You know what? We just have one more thing to do. Everybody, stay.